Lineup for the East, and joining Wagner in the starting five, his future teammate Paul and the #1 player in the class of 2023, Justin Edwards.
Yeah, Justin Edwards had a fantastic senior season. Does a little bit of everything well, a slasher, rebounder, defender, much improved three-point shooter. Part of that #1 class going to Kentucky next season.
In the starting lineup for the West, joining Holland, Andre Stojakovic, the son of Peja, Isaiah Collier, Brandon Garrison, and sharpshooter Brandon McCain, 24 in the black, who won the three-point shootout last night. The West turns it over to start here.
And the West has something to prove because the East dominated the scrimmage. Even though it was a very competitive scrimmage, they dominated that game, and they got a lot of great production from a guy that's a reserve for them, Stephon Castle, who will be a spectacular performer for Danny Hurley at UConn next year.
The only player in the game heading to a school that's in the Final Four this year. Wagner misses from long range for the East. Here comes the West. Holland, one of 2 native Texans on the floor tonight, and McCain drills at the future Duke Blue Devil. Paul, his shot is so pure.
It's been pure for 4 years. Corona Centennial High School, top 10 in the country, three-point winner last night, headed to Duke. Maybe the best shooter coming into the ACC next year.
Xavier Booker, the big, headed to Michigan State, trying to show off his range. West up 2-0, we've played just over a minute. Collier from downtown, and he gets the friendly roll. He's really improved from three-point territory.
He's got that deep three ball. Played against Stephon Castle last month. He buried 4 threes in that game. If he can get that, sky is the limit for Isaiah Collier headed to USC.
Edwards couldn't hit for the East. Here is Collier knifing through and drawing the foul.
When I watch him pass, it reminds me of Jason Kidd in many ways. Big 6'4" guard. Jump shot and defense need to improve.
Collier headed to USC. Here is McCain going to Duke. He's improved as a playmaker the last couple of years. Feeding Andre Stojakovic, came up short, and the rebound for the East.
Nice look ahead by Cody Williams. Justin Edwards unable to handle it, but gets it back.
And Cody Williams
got into the ESPN 100 late and has now become, as you mentioned, a tremendous prospect. You see his length defensively and how he can make things difficult.
And he's getting after Ron Holland right now.
Stojakovic, I think we've seen this before. A Stojakovic who can shoot from deep. And a turnover by the East as Elmarko Jackson, who's headed to Kansas, tried the wraparound.
I love the start of this game, though, because the West, who were beaten by double figures in the scrimmage game, have come out knowing how much this means, and it's been a competitive start to this game.
It's 8-1, the West on top, and now it's 10-1, thanks to Jared McCain.
He's sharing the point guard position with Isaiah Collier. What matchups in this game? Wagner against Collier, McCain against Jackson.
Cody Williams rejected by Holland. Out of bounds, it'll stay at this end.
And Jared McCain going off the bounce. And again, we've talked about his shooting ability, but has the ability also to play off the bounce and score, using great footwork in his body to be able to score over bigger players.
Exactly, Corey. He is so fundamentally sound when he gets into the paint. He uses the jump shot and the jump stop.
Oh, this is fun. Wagner against Collier. Forget about the shot. Fouled before Wagner put it up. You have 2 of the 3 best players in high school basketball, according to the ESPN 100.
Yeah, Wagner's now become much more of a playmaker, and I think Collier's jump shot has improved.
Nice feed by Jackson to Booker, and Booker is
DJ Wagner, who when this class had the opportunity to be ranked as sophomores in the ESPN, their first rankings, DJ Wagner was #1, and he has a chance, as you mentioned, out of those players to be #1 when they finish, a chance to be one of the guys who's able to go wire to wire.
And that speaks a lot about his toughness and his mental approach to the game.
Elmarko Jackson swallowed whole by Ron Holland, who's one of the most impactful defenders in the class, Corey.
He absolutely is that, but you heard Ron Holland talk about that we were going to be competitive. He walked into our meetings on Saturday saying, we're going to make this a game. We are going to compete. And it wasn't that way for the West in the scrimmage, but it has been here in the game.
Collier a burst. Oh, blocked by DJ Wagner. In transition, the East, Edwards, the #1 player in the class, and Booker headed to Michigan State is there to clean it up.
If you're looking for an all-competitive team, put Ron Holland #1 on that list.
Well, I got to go with Justin Edwards right there with them. Both those guys,
no question,
and super competitive. And Justin Edwards, of course, maybe a little tired.
Collier to the rack around Booker. Tough finish.
And Justin Edwards just won a state championship on Friday night and was here in Houston to practice on Saturday.
And the lefty comes up short from 3. Collier, the whirlwind in transition for the West, headed to USC. Inside, and Brandon Garrison, the future Oklahoma State Cowboy, with the bucket.
Whether it's transition or the half court, Isaiah Collier is going to find you. He's going to pass it away from the defense. You got to be ready when you play with Collier.
Cody Williams, the elevation for the future Colorado Buffalo.
There's a flash.
Yeah,
Cody Williams
showing off just a bit of his athleticism, and one of the reasons why he's such a tremendous prospect.
Collier spins it in against Williams. Count it, and 1.
And Isaiah Collier, he took the scrimmage personally because DJ Wagner got the best of him in the scrimmage on Sunday. And now you can tell that Isaiah Collier, the Wooten Award winner this year for the McDonald's All-American game, and he has been in attack mode, getting downhill to that basket, able to finish through contact not once but twice.
Also the Gatorade State Player of the Year in Georgia, Isaiah Collier. He brings the playmaking ability, the defense, the drive game, the finish game. He's going to get the ball next year at USC. He's got a terrific class. Arrington Page, his teammate, is going with him. Silas Demery, and they're trying to recruit one Bronny James.
Yeah, the guy stepping into the game right now, Bronny James, making his entrance into the McDonald's All-American game. And of course, 20 years ago, his dad was possibly the best high school prospect of all time. And now Bronny gets a little bit of his shoes to wear here today.
Aaron Bradshaw, long 2 for the top-ranked big man in the class, going to Kentucky.
He's so much better facing up than he is with his back to the basket. He's got a legitimate three-point shot.
Omaha Blue feeds Bronny James, who drills it from deep.
And he loves
there you go with Dad courtside.
And that's what he's done. He's improved significantly on the jump shot. And one of the reasons why so many NBA people now are intrigued about Bronny James, because he defends and now he can shoot it.
And he can play, he can play the 1 or the 2. And he is best off the catch shooting the 3 ball.
Great hustle by Aaron Bradshaw getting on the floor. When's the last time we saw this in the McDonald's All-American game?
When we were kids.
On the Wagner, of course, one of the guys that I watched growing up, Ted, at Louisville, won the national championship alongside Never Nervous Purvis, and the guy that wore the part down the middle of his hair. So, of course, he had all of us making sure we got that at the barbershop.
Jacoby Walter, along with Ron Holland, the only native Texans in this game here in Houston. Walter headed to Baylor with the putback. The West up 22-8 here in the first. Aiden Holloway in the game at point guard for the East. Holloway headed to Auburn. Bradshaw is fouled inside.
You know, Bradshaw did that in the very first practice.
Got an opportunity to look at that class.
Supersize me.
Justin Edwards, Reed Shepherd, who will be playing on the West team.
Walter on the drive again, and Jacoby Walter.
John Shire does as well.
And they're different classes. Kentucky, a high competitive edge. Duke as well competitively, but Duke's class can really shoot it. I love the athletic ability and the toughness of Kentucky's class.
Speaking of Duke, this guy right here, Mackenzie Mbako, who played alongside Aaron Bradshaw and DJ Wagner with the New Jersey Scholars.
Walter the lob, and off the mark. Bayfall couldn't slam it. Mookie Cook with the follow. Cook, top 20 player in the country, going to Oregon.
We haven't had a lot of dunks in the practices or the scrimmage. I don't think there's going to be many dunks in this game because these guys are getting back on defense. Shot selection's pretty good as well.
This is one of the matchups you wanted to see. Aiden Holloway against Bronny James, and Holloway puts it in.
You've got to check Aiden Holloway. He's a bucket wherever he is on the court. Can Holloway now guard Bronny?
Oh, from NBA range! Sweet stroke from Bronny.
And if there's anyone out there thinking they haven't seen this before, I would be with them, but I can tell you right now, it has been consistent this entire week. Bronny James has been shooting the cover off the ball.
And Stephon Castle counted, and a foul for the East. Future UConn Husky. Back to Bronny, though.
Yeah, Bronny shoots it at close to 40% off the catch. There it is, off the catch. Feet are set, eyes are up.
And with his ability to defend, which I honestly believe is his greatest strength right now, and now he's added that jump shot, he becomes a significant two-way player, and I think he's a guy that can be very respectful on anyone's court.
What's his ceiling, Bronny James?
Become a two-way player at the college level and beyond. He's got upside as a defender, great facilitator, and he is excellent at the catch and shoot.
Omaha Biliew headed to Iowa State, trying to find Bay Fall, lost it out of bounds. It'll stay at this end.
One thing I think Bronny can do really well in college and beyond, play two positions. Even though he's small in the league for a two guard, but at the college game, he can play the one or the two. He's interchangeable.
But the most valuable position right now in the NBA is the combo guard. You think about everyone has one or two that can go out and fill it up as well as defend, and that's where I believe he fits in at the next level.
Look out here, Aden Holloway couldn't curl at home, but he's fouled. As you like to say, Dawn Staley, your little sister.
Dawn Staley, my little big sister, but also my first cousin, Kenny Brooks, in the first game. So, Ted, I will be making my trip to Dallas to be there to witness it in person.
Walter trying to follow the miss from James, and Holloway clears it for the East. Feeding Bradshaw. Couldn't finish, over Fall.
See, he's got to get comfortable with his back to the basket. He's got to get lower, wider, and more leverage.
Biliew takes the baseline against Modest Buzelis, and Biliew goes reverse side for two.
There are very few guys that have a motor like Omaha Biliew. He is spectacular. I've never watched him, and he's not playing hard. I think he only has one speed.
Iowa native, stay home and play for the Cyclones. A crafty move by Holloway again, and once again.
So that's what makes them great and so versatile, and we have a lot of that in this 2023 class.
Ron Holland, top 5 player in the class, going to Texas. Oh, swatted away by Aaron Bradshaw.
What was it like getting that TikTok with Bronny yesterday?
It was cool. It was cool. You know, I showed him the TikTok. He said he knew it, so he just had to lock in.
I'm sure there's millions of views already, and you're going to bring all those views, all those threes into Duke next year. What is the art for you behind the three-point shot?
Just reps with my father when I was super young, playing it with my brother. That's where it comes from.
Thank you so much, Jared.
Thank you.
About a combined 8 million followers on TikTok between McCain and Bronny James as Cody Williams attacks and draws the foul.
He answered those questions.
East in the bonus here late in the quarter, and the West up by 11 nearing the final minute. Nice that we're playing 4 quarters instead of the 20-minute halves. Reed Sheppard knifes in for the basket. Another legacy player, the son of 2-time national champion at Kentucky, Jeff Sheppard. His mom Stacy was also a star with the Wildcats.
Don't sleep on Reed Sheppard when you get to Kentucky. He can score, he can play make, and he is tough.
Oh, Holloway dancing around Sheppard for 2. He's got 7.
Those two guys will be going at it next year. Of course, Aden Holloway headed to Auburn, and Reed Sheppard headed to Kentucky.
The very first practice, all the way to the scrimmage the other day, they've been serious about their game. They've been serious about being a good teammate.
Final seconds of the quarter, Holloway, he can hit from that range.
His knowledge of the game, his pace, he's like a wizard, really. Like, he knows what's going on. He's 3 steps ahead of the game. He knows what's going to happen. He knows all the reads. So I'm just really just trying to learn the game as much as I can to know as much as he does.
Yeah. And you're headed to Auburn. How excited are you to play for the Tigers in the SEC?
That's all you live for, just to play in the competition that the SEC brings. Play for Coach Pearl, it's a blessing, really.
Absolutely. Those fans are pretty wild down there. How big's that going to be?
That's what I'm looking forward to, just to put on for them, bring good vibes to the arena, and just put on a show for them.
You got good vibes out here tonight. We'd like to see it. Congrats.
Well, Brooke, meanwhile, Justin Edwards, the top-ranked player in the class, has put on a little show in the first minute of the quarter. Back-to-back buckets for the East. 4-point game. Biliew from long range. Book it.
And if Omaha can do that on a consistent basis, he will be a lottery pick next year. We talked about his motor, his positional size. We know he can defend, and if he can make shots, he becomes a terrific 3-and-D guy at the NBA level.
That's exactly what he is, Corey. A 3-and-D guy with high energy, committed to the defensive end. He's very fluid.
And you see all
three-point shot.
All the mechanics look great. Hold that follow-through up there, shooter. Omaha looking good here to start this game. And, of course, this East team looking much better to start the second quarter than they did in the first quarter. A lot of that having to do with Justin Edwards getting going.
DJ Wagner back on the floor, 21 for the East, to his future college teammate Edwards, blocked, and the shot clock runs out.
I know we're not supposed to talk about defense at the McDonald's All-American game, but this is high-level individual defense, and there is some help side defense going on.
You know, and PB, I'll be honest with you, coming into this game, and this class has not been regarded as one of the better classes that we've seen in the past. And I think that they know that. And more importantly, they're playing as though they have something to prove.
Bronny James, splash! His third triple. And now foul at the other end on James.
And speaking of having something to prove, this young man is proving that he belongs amongst the McDonald's All-American 2023 class. Off to a great start. Bronny James knocking down his third three of the evening.
He's done nothing but improve over his last 4 years.
Oh, what a move by Elmarko Jackson, as explosive as anyone in the class. From New Jersey, headed to Kansas to play for Bill Self. Jeremy Fears Jr., 11 in the black on the floor at point guard, along with Bronny. Fears going to Michigan State. Bay Fall, future Arkansas Razorback, left it short. Wagner to Edwards, a Kentucky connection. It's a three.
And now you're starting to see why PB has Justin Edwards at the top of the list, showing it off here in this second quarter.
Oh, nice feed by Fears, and Cook goes reverse side. How surreal has this been this whole week for Mookie Cook? Tonight, LeBron is courtside. Cook played him in a movie that's coming out this year. Jackson from the outside.
We've got a real basketball game here, people. Anybody thought that this was going to be throwing it off the glass, going between the legs, etc.? These guys are competing, and I love every minute of it.
Elmarko Jackson is going to be dynamic at Kansas. Can shoot it, drive it, and facilitate.
James defended by the bigger Sean Stewart. Off target this time. Wagner, the lead pass for Stewart, and out of bounds to the west.
That's where Wagner's made a big jump in his game, the head-to-head pass. Years past, he would dribble it up the court with speed, but not look. Now he's looking up the court, trying to make the simple play.
Fears slicing in. Fall the offensive board, and a foul. Bay Fall, one of the more unique prospects in this game, going to Arkansas, originally from Senegal. Played his high school ball in Denver. McCain back on the floor, off the mark. Oh, and Castle lost it off his foot. West ball.
Castle's had a little bit of a difficult time getting into a rhythm during this game, and it's often difficult for guys who, of course, have always started games and now getting involved, but he's been one of the more impressive players throughout this week. NBA scouts have been raving about his size and his ability.
McCain from the mid-range. Number 12 player in the class, headed to Duke.
Yeah, Jared McCain's much more than a three-point shooter. He's a playmaker, and he understands how to get his own shot.
Here's Kwame Evans Jr. headed to Oregon, along with his opponent tonight, Mookie Cook. Castle saves it. Holloway, open look. And corralled by the West. Ron Holland racing ahead for the jam.
Our first dunk of the night.
And Castle's fouled at the other end. Ron Holland is inspired. Today you are introduced officially as the new head coach of the Texas Longhorns. And now you get to watch Ron Holland on the floor at the McDonald's game.
By the way, great move by Texas to hire Rodney Terry. It took him a little while, but he did a magnificent job in adverse situation.
He absolutely did. Great job there by Castle, rotating over once he was beat.
There's Holland tracking it down for the West. McCain, too strong.
Jared McCain was surprised himself that he missed that shot. He was already running back down the floor. He knew that one was good.
Remember, he didn't miss.
Bronny James out here do things as well. Stojakovic. It's incredible to watch NBA players and their sons do big things. What does it mean to have a legend game like tonight?
Oh, it's a great feeling. You never know that these things are going to happen. All I look at is a blessing for our family, and my kids have put in the work to be in this game, so I'm very proud of them.
How important was it for you to kind of establish your game, and what can DJ do here? He's already going to Kentucky. I know you got to be really excited about that. What can he do tonight to really elevate himself amongst his peers?
Well, just go ahead and have fun. Do what he's been doing all his life. This is a game he loves, and he's understanding. He's been through a lot of things in his career.
Bender had 31 points in the 99 McDonald's game.
You know, when you talk about, of course, DeJuan Wagner, DJ's father, who was a teammate of LeBron James in 2003, 2004, and the next season in Cleveland with the Cavaliers, there was also a third teammate on there, Paul Biancardi, who has a son playing in this game.
Putting you on the spot with this one.
Going to need a minute here.
No, you don't.
Think of another NBA player who has a son in this game, and it's not Peja Stojakovic.
Okay.
We saw him at the hotel. He wore a Duke shirt. Mackenzie Mbako going to Duke.
Just give it to him, Ted.
Michael Stewart.
Michael Yogi Stewart, whose son Sean is on the floor.
Well, because Yogi played out in Cal, so I wasn't thinking about that.
So here's the thing, PB. Yogi was undrafted.
Yes.
And the Sacramento Kings asked him to come back home, play on their summer league team, and work out in the summer. And let me tell you who that guy that he worked out with when he got back to Sacramento would happen to be one Peja Stojakovic. So, of course, how about that? Michael Yogi Stewart has a strong connection to a lot of guys here in this game.
Kwame Evans Jr. Train coming down the tracks. Count it, and the foul.
I love his versatility, Kwame Evans. He's 6'11", handles the ball in the open court. He can pass it from the high post. Pretty good open shooter. Needs to get a little more physical. Motor's got to rev up a little bit more.
But he's also a legacy. His father, Kwame Evans, played for Mike Jarvis at George Washington and was a standout.
Hall of Famer at GW, the 5th all-time leading scorer for George Washington.
And he plays on the #1 team right now, Montverde. Kwame Evans.
Ron Holland goes reverse side for 2. We'll see Evans later this week at Geico Nationals, in fact, the big national championship tournament to crown the very best in high school basketball. And he'll face off with his teammate tonight, Modest Buzelis, Thursday in the quarterfinals, 6 Eastern on ESPNU. A lot of these players are heading to Fort Myers after this game for that tournament. Ron Holland with another deuce.
And we got 6 McDonald's All-Americans playing in Geico Nationals. See who the top high school team is in the country.
There's Castle matched up against McCain. UConn versus Duke. Entry pass and a foul on Ron Holland.
Not only do they compete, they're very coachable. You see them in the huddles, helping each other, speaking to the coaches. They've taken this very serious this week.
Well, speaking of the coaches, Grant Rice leading the West, the head coach at Bishop Gorman High School. 14 Nevada State championships in 22 years there in Las Vegas. Jacoby Walter. It rattles in. Nice move against Cody Williams.
Yeah, speaking of competitive, of course, Jacoby Walter has been one of the most competitive guys here throughout this week. Won the knockout contest yesterday and got off to a great start in the three-point contest. I think he wore himself down a little bit in knockout.
And he's going to Baylor.
Shepard ahead to Collier. Good with a foul.
Great look-ahead pass by Reed Shepard. He helps any team on the offensive end. But Jacoby Walter knows how to create and make his own shot.
He absolutely does. And going up against a very good defender, and Cody Williams is able to separate, get his space. And then speaking of separation, Isaiah Collier showing off his strength, separating himself from DJ Wagner to finish through the contact and opportunity for the and one.
Collier endured unspeakable tragedy in the summer. His cousin, Khalil Hardison, drowned in a kayaking accident. Collier was there. Hardison, 4 years older than him. Collier considered Khalil his brother. He's used the hashtag Live Like Khalil all year and continues to be inspired by him.
Yeah, he dedicated his senior season to his cousin. Tremendous tragedy. Head coach Larry Thompson. They have persevered.
Now, Thompson is coach at Wheeler High School. Hardison's father, Collier's uncle, and Wheeler won a state championship this month.
Yeah, we put the tough question out to Isaiah Collier, who's the best player out of Wheeler High School, and you get
in off the court.
I'm not going to speak that nice about Lance. He got all that from Gina.
Okay, yeah, she is. She's a sweet mom, that's for sure.
Minute and a half remaining until the break. The West up by 9. Omaha Ballou on the drive, lost it on the way up. Mookie Cook with the hammer.
That's how Cook scores best. Around the rim in transition, and he is a heck of a defender.
Cody Williams wants the clear out against Andre Stojakovic. Couldn't get past him. Now DJ Wagner, the first third-generation McDonald's All-American, to Justin Edwards. Number 2 to number 1 in the ESPN 100. That's a long 2.
And that's where Wagner is exceptional. The ability to get into the paint and finish or find. Today's game all about paint touches, scoring at the rim, kicking it out for 3. That's DJ Wagner's game. Now he's become more of a playmaker as well. That's why he's the number 1 point guard in the country.
I agree with you, PB, on the fact that he's become a much better playmaker. That's a shot he would have forced earlier in his career, but does a great job finding Justin Edwards in the corner. These two guys, of course, tremendous competitors. We talk about number 1 and 2, but they were teammates at team final in the 8th grade, so they go way, way back, actually until when they were 5th graders playing together.
Teammates tonight, teammates starting next year at Kentucky. Edwards lost the handle, loose ball. And a tie-up, heading the other way.
Don't forget that number 1 class for Kentucky. They also have Robert Dillingham.
Bucket.
He may be the best pure bucket in the class. 6'1", creates, exciting, can go by anyone off the bounce.
He played alongside Aiden Holloway with Team CP3 over the summer, and those two guys used to give opponents fits.
He is going to get the fans of Big Blue Nation off their feet.
Shot clock is dark here at the end of the half. The West with the ball up by 9. Fears headed to Michigan State, defended by Wagner. Jeremy Fears Jr. Oh, Wagner got a piece of it. Edwards got to hurry. And time runs out. Sean Stewart.
Let them know, hey, listen, guys, they don't want to see you work on your game. They want to see you do what you do well, and they've done that exactly here tonight, Ted.
Monas Buzelis with the putback for the East. So back-to-back buckets for the East to start the second half.
And think about who that is. That's 6'9" Buzelis. That's 6'11" KJ Evans getting out defensively and doing the job to get the East back into it.
Here's Jared McCain from the corner. One of the best shooters in the class, off target. And Buzelis at 6'9" on the open floor. What a tantalizing prospect he is heading to G League Ignite. Williams blocked. And here comes the West. Bronny James out there to start the third quarter. Wearing his dad's number 6. Dad is courtside along with Mom Savannah and the rest of the family. James hit 3 threes in the first half. This one doesn't drop.
How about the passing in that possession by the West?
Great ball movement throughout this entire game, and guys being unselfish, which is not something you see in All-Star game often.
And Corey, to your point about what the NBA scouts are saying, you know, you expand your game in the offseason, you play to your strengths during the season and in game, and all these players have done that. They haven't got out of character here at McDonald's.
Yeah, don't show what you're working on with your trainer.
Yeah, don't show me what you can be. Show me what you do. And Brandon Garrison can do.
He's a very intriguing prospect. Some would still may consider him a little raw, but he's another one of those guys whose best basketball is ahead of him.
Here's your matchup, Paul Buzelis against Holland.
Get up,
Shepard
Reed.
with
Get
the
up,
steal.
Reed.
Get up, Reed. Shepard throws it down. The shooter can get up.
You knew it was coming, though. He just gave it a quick look back. You knew he was going to get bouncy on the break.
He's got great instincts for the game, Reed Shepard.
Another swipe for Shepard. McCain wide open, and he buries it.
So Jared McCain with the defense turning into offense, then the assist on the three-point play.
But just like that, a 12-point game, and the East had cut it to 5.
Evans, nice look inside, and Cody Williams is fouled
With that one, because he showed off his bounce last night in the slam dunk contest.
Cody Williams at the line, younger brother of Jalen Williams in the Rookie of the Year conversation this year with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Far different path than his brother Jalen, who became a lottery pick out of Santa Clara. Williams, a top 10 prospect in this class out of high school. McCain. Sean Stewart signed with Duke with the pull-up jumper.
He's definitely got that in his game. You know, one of the things I love about Sean Stewart is he knows who he is. He's a post player right now, but he has the touch and ability to be able to shoot it from distance, but continues to work on his game. But during game action, he shows you what he's great at.
He's got a 39-inch vertical. We saw it last night.
Shepard dealing with the length of the East right now, and he finds Garrison for 2. What a pass.
Well, Reed Shepard has impacted this game to start the second half of the West.
Foul called on the West on the drive by Elmarko Jackson.
Well, Sean Stewart just coming up like a point guard, like Corey Alexander, and pulling up.
I would have pulled up about 5 feet deeper than that, but I respect it.
The results are the same, though. And how about, Reed Shepard getting in tight spaces, making the right play. That's when you know a guy has instincts, when he gets caught and he gets in trouble and he can still find his way out.
Isaiah Collier the steal. Clear the runway.
You can see that the West is intent to be able to come out and get a win in this game. They lost the scrimmage by double figures, and they've held pretty much a double-figure lead throughout this entire game.
Kwame Evans Jr. He can hit from that range. Doesn't do it here. Oh, Evans the follow, and he's hacked by Collier.
After a lot of defensive drills, etc., and it's showing here tonight.
Yeah, they did the zigzag drill, if you remember that one-on-one up and down the court.
Jeremy Fears Jr. back on the floor at point guard for the West, future Michigan State Spartan. And here comes Cody Williams.
Nice.
Oh, to Sean Stewart! His head was above the rim.
He usually is on a dunk.
That's nothing for a slam dunk contest champion. Of course, Sean Stewart winning the trophy last night.
Oh, and Jacoby Walter with a triple at the other end. You think about Baylor, you think about guards, and they've got another one in Walter.
And when you talk about trophies, he won one last night, too, the knockout champion.
They also have Miro Little coming in from Sunrise Christian. Great backcourt for Scott Drew next season.
One of the highest risers in the class over the last few months. Williams is fouled.
Sharing the basketball has been the theme amongst both these teams here tonight. Sean Stewart getting out in transition. Paul talked about the 39-inch vertical. Shows it off on the break.
When you talk about guys finalizing a play, not many better than Sean Stewart. And he impacts the game with his athletic ability. It's very functional athletic ability.
It's been an interesting path for Stewart with his high school team, #1 team in the country, Montverde Academy in Central Florida. Stewart comes off the bench for Montverde.
Best 6-man in the nation.
DJ Wagner. Bradshaw with the follow. His teammate at Camden High School in New Jersey and future teammate at Kentucky. Got to get back, though. Walter with the slam.
And to your point, Ted, about Sean Stewart, he's going to Duke. When you get to that level, you may have to come off the bench. So Sean Stewart understands his role right now at Montverde. That will carry over to the next level.
Oh, Wagner eyes it up and connects over Mookie Cook. Wagner's first.
You first met him.
You know, he's always had a motor, so that was kind of his number one skill set. But defining his role and his position and being able to handle the basketball, shoot the three, get to the basket, he's really developed in a major way.
Tonight, he came out and just started exploding out there. I mean, you could just really feel the intensity and how much he wants to leave no doubt out here on the floor. In a game like this, and can you think back and remember what was important to you?
Well, you know, showing well. You know, it's the best players in the country, really in the world when it comes to high school. And you hear so much about these different players, and you want to show well not only against them, but people that's watching the game. This is the best game in the world right now. So I think he's doing a great job at doing what he does. High motor, intensity, aggressive. He's going to have a bright future ahead of him.
I can see how proud you are right now.
I am. And shout out to Jacoby Walters as well. He was another young kid that I was able to see when he was growing up. Dallas kid, they're doing a great job.
Thank you. He has been a fixture in DFW hoops for decades.
And Dallas is, forgive me, Texas is trying to take on North Carolina right now as the hoop state. There's a battle because if you look back over the past few years and you've seen the prospects that have come out of the state of Texas, let's go back. Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey. It goes on and on and on. Texas has been very well represented recently in this McDonald's All-American game as well as moving forward in college and the NBA.
136 McDonald's All-Americans, in fact, from Texas since the game debuted in 1977. You saw Wagner with the three at one end. Walter, the Texan, off target here for the West.
Don't forget the big fella, Julius Randle.
Yeah, big fella, Jules. I had the opportunity to coach Jules in the Hoop Summit, and he's had a great.
See, in the second half of games, that's when DJ Wagner, that alpha dog mentality, starts to take over games.
Yeah, we knew he was going to be more aggressive. Went scoreless in that first half. He was going to pick it up here when he got his opportunities in the second half of this game. Great rotation by Justin Edwards defensively. The Euro to finish. And now you're seeing the #1 and #2 players in the country starting to impact this game.
Up and down we go. Omaha Balloons.
And he's another one of those guys, PB. You don't have to run plays for Justin Edwards. He can go get it done. Offensive rebounding, of course, getting out in the passing lane, coming up with transition points, however you need it. He does whatever's necessary to win.
Wagner slipped, but still got it to Edwards. Edwards #1, Wagner #2 in the ESPN 100. Edwards from deep. Oh, Stewart flying high, and it's Bradshaw who caps it off.
The heartbeat of the East right now, picking up.
A 4-point game now. The starters have really come in off the bench in this third quarter and picked it up defensively.
And the jump shot for Justin Edwards looks nice. The mechanics are strong.
Fears rising up. The three future Wildcats on the floor together, along with Duke Blue Devil Sean Stewart. And Wagner is there for the putback. The East is within 2.
And all 5 guys on the East are either going to Duke or Kentucky next season.
And 3 of these guys were teammates with the New Jersey Scholars when you think about Mackenzie Mbako, DJ Wagner, and Aaron Bradshaw.
Stojakovic around, Mbako. Oh, he's more than just a shooter. Peja's son.
He trained in Greece this summer with his dad.
Wagner has all 8 of his points in the quarter. Couldn't scoop it in. Walter leaves it for Ballou.
And give the West a lot of credit. Every time the East has cut that lead down, they've been able to respond and give themselves just a little bit of separation. A 6-point game now after the East cut it to 2.
Bradshaw fouled by Bay Fall. Classes heading to college basketball in 2023. There's that Kentucky Duke flavor on the floor right now for the East.
Tremendous classes, different classes. Kentucky with toughness coming in. There's an edge to this class that I love. And Duke also very competitive, but they are a great shooting class. Michigan State, Tom Izzo, that best class he's had in the last 10 years. And Danny Hurley, UConn, Castle, and others. In fact, Stephon Castle was Danny Hurley's first recruit in the class of 2023. He got it started.
UConn on their way here for the Final Four this weekend. And Castle has been a standout this week, the future UConn Husky.
You think he'll stay and get some tickets?
One would hope. Ronnie James the steal, ahead to Collier, one more jam! for the #3 player in the nation.
As we talked about before, Isaiah Collier trying to recruit Bronny James to USC.
Stewart blocked by Collier from behind, but the whistle blows.
And that was a great find by Mackenzie Mbako. But give Isaiah Collier a lot of credit. And it's been the defense of the West. They've turned it into buckets. Collier with another dunk off of a steal.
Bronny is very good on the ball as a defender.
The West on the break. Oh, Ron Holland couldn't complete the dunk. We got it.
I tell
coming
you what,
right here.
You two, by the way, did not look like basketball players when the ball came over here.
Why do you say that?
Well, one, you're ducking, and then PB goes with the wrong hand on the wrong side to try to deflect it.
Hey.
I'm locked in. I'm ready to catch and shoot. Let me see, I'm on this side of half court. I would have had to turn this direction. However, you two did not look like basketball players on that one.
Well, what a surprise, Corey. I'm not a basketball player.
But PB was.
I was a walk-on. What do you want me to do?
3 seconds to go in the quarter. Mackenzie Mbako, no, and the follow by Stewart won't count.
Excited to see how good you are and to honor how good your parents both were. Out of your mom and your dad, who would you say might be a better baller?
I'm going to go with Mom. A lot of people like to talk about Dad, but I've got to go with Mom on this one. I think she was a tougher player, and I got to go with my mom on this one.
All right, good. Well, hopefully you inherit that same toughness and take it over to Kentucky with you. What do you want to bring most to the Wildcats next year?
Yeah, just a happy dude that's going to do anything that he can to win. You know, I'll do whatever it takes, whatever the coaches tell me, whatever I need to do for my teammates. So just going to go in and do whatever I can to win and hopefully get a national championship.
Well, one thing I definitely noticed about your game, you can jump just like your dad.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. You know, I guess I got to give credit to Dad. I guess that's his gene. So, yeah, no, I'm super blessed to be here. You know, this is an awesome game, and I'm super excited to be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brooke, Reed Shepherd's dad, Jeff, two-time national champion at Kentucky, Final Four most outstanding player, Ron Holland here in his home state, future Longhorn for the bucket. The West up 87-78 here early in the fourth. Stephon Castle with the answer for the East.
Yeah, don't let Stephon Castle get into the paint. He can do damage. That's his game. Off the bounce at 6'6", one of the best in the class. Behind DJ Wagner, I have him as #2, Corey, at getting into the paint.
I can respect that.
Who's #1?
DJ Wagner.
Okay.
Is this what Ted does to you guys when you're doing games while he doesn't listen to you? Is that how that works?
He probably doesn't listen to me at breakfast.
Isaiah Collier with the bucket. Why do I have to listen to Paulie? Corey, come on.
We spent too much time together. Oh, nice hedge by Holland.
And Holland comes up with the steal. Collier leaves it for Holland, who puts it in. Holland in double figures with 10.
I'm sorry, that was Brandon Garrison with the hedge. Holland with the steal.
Regardless, it was great defense, team defense by the West, in which they've been locked in the entire game, but no defense for that as Stephon Castle steps out, shoots from about 25, and is able to knock it down.
He plays with the quiet edge, Stephon Castle. He's a capable three-point shooter, but he is tremendous off the dribble.
Collier trying to get downhill, lost the handle. 4-on-2 for the East, and Cody Williams rises up for the slam.
And the East giving the West a taste of their own medicine, turning defense into offense. The nice find from Aden Holloway to give Williams the dunk.
Fears feeds Brandon Garrison for the stop. Oh, we had the highest scoring McDonald's All-American girls game earlier tonight. Both these teams on their way to 100+. Fears ahead to Bronny. Holloway stepped in front. Cody Williams. Somebody lost their shoe. Holloway did. Oh, and Holland lost it out of bounds. Gets the hug from Bronny.
Ted, believe it or not, the exact same thing happened to me 32 years ago in the McDonald's All-American game. Lost a shoe during the game. Aden Holloway trying to change directions.
And the hug. These guys have gotten along so well together off the court, and I look at that all week long. The chemistry, the friendliness, the respect, it's all there.
And especially the guys, PB, at the top of the class. You talk about those guys, about 5 different guys in the mix to be the #1 player, but they've all spent a lot of time together in a very cohesive group. Nice play defensively by Holloway.
Another steal for the future Auburn Tiger.
Got to shoot it, Aiden. You did the work.
Instead, it is Castle with the finger roll.
See, though, Corey, he made the right play.
Nah, I think the right play would have been making a 3.
Nah, he gave that ball to Castle right down the middle of the lane for a layup. That's why you're a player and you're a workout coach.
I'm both. True that. However, I'm also a shooting coach. And if he could have made that 3, 3s count more than 2.
Bronny James wants another 3. Give it to him.
Come on, Bronny.
Take the 3, Bronny. Take the 3, Bronny.
I'll tell you what, off the catch, he is smoking Bronny James.
And Holloway's fouled by Jared McCain. Bronny James has really taken a step forward as a shooter over his 4 years in high school.
Well, that's what he does best. He shoots the 3-point shot. He's ready, he's pure, and he's not afraid.
And a great find from Jared McCain, of course, much to the delight of LeBron James, who has had to use that same celebration a number of times. What's that, the 5th 3 of the game for
Number
Bronny?
4.
Number 4? Okay. He's shooting it extremely well. And again, he's done it all week long.
I watched LeBron play in high school. He could not shoot like Bronny does. Same stage. No way.
Holloway from deep. Now he pulls the trigger.
Now you see why I was saying that Aiden Holloway should have shot the 3 on the first possession. He's been on fire the entire game. And again, he had offensive rebounders there. If he missed, that 1 point could be a difference at the end of this game, Ted.
Hey, Bruce Pearl just sent me a text. He said he made the right play.
Okay.
Cook left alone. Bruce Pearl really did text you?
Come on, Ted. Don't ask those type of questions on national TV.
Oh, 3 ball for DJ Wagner. He's got 11.
That was a big question.
3.
That was a big question, and rightfully so, about his game. He's taking it to the next level, DJ Wagner.
And he's put in the work, too, and now puts in the work defensively. Get up, DJ! Just like that, a 1-point game. And just excited about the way these young men have competed throughout this game. Look at Elmarco Jackson getting after Jared McCain at half court.
This has felt like a game throughout. It has not turned.
And you can see the defense has continued to pick up here in this 4th quarter.
1-point game, 5 minutes to go. It's crunch time right now.
Collier always in attack mode.
And taking advantage of the switch. Aaron Bradshaw switching on to Collier, guarding him 30 feet away from the basket. Smart play by Collier, getting to the rim. And of course, the way the 3-point shots have been falling here in the second half, no one wanting to help.
Aaron Bradshaw, 7-footer, fouled on a 3-point attempt. That's a huge part of his game that he's taking to Kentucky.
Love his mentality, love his personality. This young man just lights up a room. When he steps in, you get a chance to talk to him. Great personality, and I'm sure they're going to love him in Big Blue Nation next year.
Well, they got 4 of them coming in next year. 5 total class, but 4 from the McDonald's All-American game.
More than any other school.
Now, let me ask you this, Corey, because you stumped me in the first half.
Uh-oh.
Which program has the most McDonald's All-Americans in 1 game?
Most
ever.
McDonald's All-Americans in 1 game ever.
Ooh.
Man,
I was helping you guys. I just talked about the school.
So this isn't it. Well, I mean, it's got to be Kentucky then if you just talked about it.
There you go. There's that UVA education.
What year was that?
2013. They had 6 of them.
6 in 2013. Wow. Okay, in 2013, that would have been Karl Anthony Towns. That would have been Devin Booker. Let's see, who else was in that mix? What's my point guard's name? I got to think about that list, but I can remember that class.
Yeah, we'll get the research staff on that. Walter in the paint against Edwards.
Great defense by Justin Edwards.
3-second call, turnover.
When have we seen one of those in the McDonald's All-American game?
And it all started with DJ Wagner at the point of attack. He was on the basketball, and then Edwards, how about the sit down, the slide? Didn't give any space.
And you speak about Kentucky, John Calipari is up clapping right now the defensive effort from his 2 stars coming in next season.
I'm telling you what, he's going to get a competitive group. I don't know if they're going to win a lot, but they're going to be competitive.
Oh, the East had a chance to take the lead. Instead, it's Collier the other way for the West. Loose ball picked away by Edwards. And the snowbird is Elmarko Jackson. An explosion at the rim. The East in front.
And it's funny to say this, but it's been by their defense.
It has absolutely been about the defense. And it's been led by, as you mentioned, DJ Wagner picking up at half court. Justin Edwards continues to play in the passing lane and has been in the right spot at all times, kicking ahead to Elmarko Jackson, who finishes off emphatically, just as he was doing in the dunk contest last night,
when he cleared Ronald McDonald on his way to the rim. Collier's at the line, missed the first. One more for the future USC Trojan. Jacoby Walter heads out for the West. And James is back on the floor. You see him wearing number 6. And Collier ties it up at 99. Collier has 22 tonight to lead all scorers.
You know, and what you love about this is you get an opportunity to see who the coaches have really trusted throughout the week to come out and give their best performance at the end.
A step back for Wagner. Bradshaw, offensive rebound, and he's fouled.
Great job by Aaron Bradshaw. He set the screen at the top of the key. Wagner comes off, steps back, Bradshaw right to the rim.
And PB, we've talked about what we've seen from these guys for the last 4 or 5 years. I've never seen Aaron Bradshaw attack the offensive glass the way he has throughout this week.
This week has been the best in that category, no doubt about it. We all know that most of rebounding is going after the basketball. Aaron Bradshaw went after that on DJ Wagner's shot.
Corey, you asked him when we sat down with him Saturday night, all right, you played 15 years in the league, you've made all your money, what do you want to do then? Aaron Bradshaw had the answer ready. I want to own a trucking company.
But again, when you talk about his personality and really the way he conducts himself, you can see that he put thought into that answer. As something he didn't just come up with when we were in that room Saturday. He's thought about it long before, just like Isaiah Collier had a long time to think about that three he knocked down in the corner.
And he wants to get into acting, he said.
Yeah, Collier's headed to Hollywood. West back on top. Jackson for 3. Bradshaw, another offensive rebound. Got to pick it up off the deck. And Bradshaw guides it in. How about the emotion from the 7-footer?
Now, PB, is he one of those 5 guys that could get in the mix with number? Because if he plays like this,
well, if is the big word, right?
If is a huge word. But if we see this Aaron Bradshaw on a consistent basis,
2 letters never meant so much.
Look at that, coming up with the steal.
Give it back to him.
And the lob, Wagner trying to find Jackson. It's through his hands, out of bounds.
2 letters never meant so much, right? IF. But you know who did a lot of work with Aaron Bradshaw coming up through the ranks?
Oh, yeah.
Who was it?
Never nervous, baby.
Never
Come on,
nervous, perfect.
Come on,
that's
now.
right.
Milt Wagner's teammate, and you see Bradshaw battling on the glass, able to come away with the finish. Oh, yeah, no. Purvis Ellison, of course, is a staple.
Oh, Holland missing a dunk for the 2nd time in the half.
Throughout this entire week, Bronny James has earned the right to finish this game alongside Isaiah Collier and Jared McCain in the backcourt. Ron Holland and Brandon Garrison in the front court for the West.
And that's a great word you use, trust. Because I trust a lot of these guys that are McDonald's All-Americans when it comes to the next level. They respect the game. They're serious about their game, and so you trust them in big moments.
Holland ties the score at 103. No McDonald's All-American boys game has ever gone to overtime in the 46-year history of the event, and only one girls game has. DJ Wagner breaks the tie, the bucket for the East.
And that's what he does best. Gets downhill, attacks the paint, and finish at the rim.
And Corey, that was with his left hand. He can go right or left.
By the way, if you're tuning in for SportsCenter, it follows us here in Houston. Future stars of the college game and beyond on display here at Toyota Center, including Bronny James. Bullseye! In the boiling cauldron of social media, the only uncommitted player in the game tonight and a top 30 prospect in the class, Paul.
And Ted, I've watched him as a rising freshman. And every game he's ever played in, he is so dialed into the game, his teammates, his coaches,
He never looks in the stands. He never looks at the camera. And that's one of the things that I think that make him really special. He's focused.
Wagner against Collier, the top 2 point guards in the class. Under a minute to play in regulation, and a foul called against Collier.
But no one likes that call, but it's the right call. In today's game, there's no time you can put 2 hands. Show the replay. Show the replay.
Wait a minute.
There's zero time.
We're at the McDonald's All-American game.
Watch this. Watch this.
Oh, come on, baby.
Two
I coached
hands,
in the Big East.
2 hands to push. 2 hands to push. That was the back.
That was a love tap in the Big East.
Wagner rising up. It's an air ball. The West takes over with a 1 point lead.
We got real basketball game, real calls here. Isaiah Collier now with the opportunity to get back. These 2 guys, you talked about it, PB, the competition between the 2 of them at the top of the charts. And we see it coming down in the final seconds of this game.
Collier got past Wagner. Going reverse side. Stewart is there to affect it. The East on the run. DJ Wagner hammers it for the lead. 30 seconds to play. And a
#1 spot since he was a sophomore in high school. Right now, Justin Edwards has it. He's looking to take it back.
Be interesting to see your last rankings when they come out April 19th, correct?
Ooh, you on it. April 19th, senior class will be finalized in the rankings.
Slight difference between the clocks. Under 20 to play in regulation. Sean Stewart taking Collier on the switch. Collier headed to USC, draws the foul.
Just a smart play by Isaiah Collier, getting to his spot, but the pump fake. Sean Stewart blocked his last shot. He knew he was going to get Stewart in the air, and does a great job of drawing the contact, getting to the free throw line, an opportunity to give his team a lead at the end of this McDonald's All-American game.
You talk about basketball intelligence. Collier knows he can't get by Sean Stewart, so what does he do? The pump fake, gets the defender off his feet. High basketball IQ by Isaiah Collier.
And Collier now 5 of 11 from the free throw line. He struggled from the line, and now, of course, what they make, all he can do is tie this game, giving the East the opportunity to take the last shot here if he makes this free throw.
Collier does have a game-high 25. And a timeout by the East.
Entire basketball career because of his grandfather and his father, and I'm going to trust him to be the guy. But he's improved so much as a playmaker. He doesn't have to take the shot. He can find the right guy.
Well, there's no question about it. The ball is going to go in the hands of DJ Wagner. If you're Elmarco Jackson, who's on the floor, you got to be ready.
First Collier for the tie. He missed it. Stewart the rebound. Got a foul if you're the West, and here it is with 8.7, and DJ Wagner, the first third-generation McDonald's All-American, is on his way to the line. And Collier comes up empty.
Yeah, Collier misses 2. DJ Wagner is excited about his opportunity to get to the free throw line and make it a 3-point game, but with 8.7 seconds remaining, this game is far from over. More than enough time to get a quality look on the other end.
Well, you saw the West running a little scheme if there was a missed free throw. One went inside, one went outside. Sean Stewart with the block out got possession. If he makes both, West can still tie it up.
First trip to the line tonight for Wagner. It's a 2-point game. One more look at Collier.
Well, again, you're talking about a great player. He cannot believe that he shot free throws so poorly throughout this game. Now 5 for 12, especially at a time where he could have tied this game.
Well, the West now has McCain in the game. Reed Shepherd. Collier got to think about next play right now. He's got to forget the last one.
I'll say make sure Bronny's on the floor.
James is on the floor. All shooters for the West. Down by 3. Here we go. McCain way off. Rebound by Stewart. And the East is victorious in the McDonald's All-American Boys.